Hi everyone, my name is Logan and today I'm going to walk you through the EcoWorks Healthy Homes Kits survey and audit. Okay, so now we're going to walk through the EcoWorks Healthy Homes Kit audit question by question. If you don't have a paper copy or a digital copy, you can get one at ecoworksdetroit.org/healthyhomes. And I'll also link to that page in the video. Question 1 and question 2. So question 1, am I a DPSCD student? I am not, and I am not filling it out with a DPSCD student. So I'm going to check other. Question 2, do I live in a single family home or an apartment building? So in this case, I live in a single family home, so I'm going to check single family home. Now we're on to question 3. So question 3 is asking about carbon monoxide detectors. Every model is a little bit different, but this is the one that my family has. It's powered by the outlet, not battery operated. So go ahead, search for carbon monoxide detectors in your home, and go ahead and press the test button. So this is mine, just press that test button. I'm not gonna press it now because I know it's working. I tested it earlier, but go ahead, check your home for carbon monoxide detectors. Make sure you press the test button and then answer question number 3 on the audit. Question number 4, healthy cleaning supplies. In question 4, we're looking for the active ingredients in the cleaning product our family uses the most. We want to know if it contains any of the following chemicals: ammonium chloride, bleach, or sodium hypochlorite. So my family uses a bleach solution, so I would answer yes, my family's main cleaning product contains one of these chemicals. Okay, so the next 4 questions are plumbing related. So I want you to head to the bathroom where we're going to look at the shower, the toilet, and the sink. So question number 5, we're looking for sneaky leaks due to a leaking seal with our toilet flapper. So first, we're going to stand next to our toilet and we're going to listen for running or dripping water. So I'm standing here, I'm not hearing any running water, I'm not hearing any dripping water from my toilet. So our next question is, does the surface of the water in the bowl constantly ripple or move? If so, you have a leak. So let's open up our bowl. I'm not seeing any movement, so it seems like that's okay. So the third way to check for a sneaky leak is to take the top off the tank, which I already have, and add some food coloring to our water. So you can see a greenish tint to my tank. So add the food coloring to the tank. Wait about 15 minutes. Then open the bowl and check for any of the color leaking from the tank to the bowl. So I don't see any green food coloring in the tank, or from our tank in our bowl, so I think we're okay here. Now we're on to question number 6. So this is about the toilet tank bank. So what we want to know is if your toilet is using an effective amount of water per flush. So the easiest way to check is to see if it's written on your toilet. So my toilet, it is written on. You can see right here, it's got the brand name, and then it says it's 1.6 gallons of water per flush. So this is an efficient toilet because it uses 1.6 gallons. If it says anything more than 1.6 gallons, that means your toilet is using an inefficient amount of water, and you might want a toilet tank bank. Now, if you can't find that writing on here, you might want to check the inside of the lid. So I have mine over here. It has, some diagrams, some troubleshooting tips, but it doesn't have the amount of water on here, whereas some will. So there's one more way to check to see if you can use a toilet tank bank, also called a toilet tummy. So go ahead and step over to your tank, and now check to see if you could fit a 2-liter pop bottle in this tank without touching any of the mechanisms here. So I don't have a 2-liter bottle, but it looks like I might be able to fit one right here. So even though my toilet is using an efficient amount of water, I still might be able to use a toilet tank bank because it looks like I could fit a 2-liter bottle right here in my toilet. Now answer question number 6. How many toilets in your home use over 1.6 gallons of water per flush? Next, we're going to be checking out our shower head. Showers account for about 22% of a home's water use, so they're a really easy way to save some money. We're going to be checking to see if our shower head is already a water-saving shower head. There's one easy way that you can tell. Your shower head may have a label that will tell you the water flow of your shower head. So it would look something like 2.0 gallons per minute or 1.6 gallons per minute. My shower head doesn't have a label on it, but there's one easy test we can do to see if my shower head is actually a water-saving shower head or not. So the way we can test to see if our shower head is water-saving or not is by actually turning on the water, capturing it in a vessel like this, and then doing some basic math. So I grabbed a 2-quart measuring cup. 2 quarts is a half of a gallon. I'm going to turn my faucet on, or my shower head on, capturing it in my container, and then we're going to do some basic math to figure out how many gallons of water per minute my shower head uses. So I just ran my shower and collected the water in this 2-quart container. So as you can see, it's almost all the way to the top, full to the top. It's actually exceeded the 2-quart line. I only ran my shower for 15 seconds. I was planning to run it for 30, but it actually started to overflow. So I stopped at 15 seconds. So now let's do some basic math. I collected 2 quarts of water, which is a half of a gallon, in 15 seconds. If I multiply that times 4, that means my shower head is using 2 gallons of water per minute. So what we're looking for here is to know how many of our shower heads are using more than 1.5 gallons of water per minute. So now we're on to question number 8, water-saving faucet aerators. So in this question, we're looking for how many of our faucets are using more than 1.0 gallons of water per minute. So one way that we know is by checking for an aerator. So an aerator looks something like this. And I'm looking at my faucet and I see that I might be able to screw a piece off, but I know that this isn't an aerator because it doesn't say anything on it. It doesn't list this is an aerator that uses 1.0 gallons of water per minute. So I know that I don't have an aerator on this faucet. If I wanted to test, I could do a similar test, like for the shower, collect the amount of water in 1 minute to see how much water it's actually using. If it's using over a gallon of water per minute, you can save a lot of water by installing an aerator here. So for that question, go ahead and answer the amount of faucets in your home using more than 1.0 gallons of water per minute. So now we're done in the bathroom, but you must check all of the bathrooms in your house. So apply all of these tests to any sinks, showers, and toilets that you have in your home. Next, we'll be on question number 9, looking at light bulbs. First, we're going to be looking for incandescent light bulbs. A standard incandescent light bulb looks like this. These light bulbs waste the most energy of all the light bulbs we're going to talk about, so we want the least amount of these as possible. So count the amount of incandescent light bulbs you have in every room in your house, and then add it to your audit sheet. Next, we're going to be counting the amount of compact fluorescent light bulbs you have in your house. So these are distinctive with the curly tubing you see. So count the amount of compact fluorescent light bulbs you have. These are more efficient than an incandescent light bulb, but not as efficient as an LED light bulb. All right. Finally, we want you to look for LED light bulbs. So an LED light bulb looks like this. It's got this plastic base here in the middle. This is the most energy efficient type of light bulb, and this is what we want to see most often in our homes. So go ahead and count the amount of LED light bulbs and add it to our audit sheet. So now we know how many of each light bulb we have. So we're going to add that to our audit sheet and move on to our next question. But just a tip before we go, you want to make sure that you're counting all of these light bulbs you have in your house. So if you have 10 incandescent, 10 LED, and 10 compact fluorescent, go ahead and count those all up at the same time. Make sure you do every room and make sure you count every light bulb. So now we're on to question number 10. We're going to be looking for energy waste due to air sealing. So we're going to be checking doors and windows in this test. I'm only going to check one door and one window, but you should do this for all of your doors and all of your windows. So this is my front door. We're going to check for air leaks using those two tests, the wet hand test and the daylight test. So first we're going to start with the daylight test. First thing about the daylight test, you have to do it during the day because you need to be able to see light. So I want to note that we're not talking about light coming in through the windows in the door because there are some windows that naturally allow light. But instead we're looking for daylight that would occur at the cracks along the door frames or the seams along the door frames or the bottom, or in this case, between the two parts of the door. So as you can see here, when I pan from top to bottom, we're not seeing any light along any of the seams of the door, at the base of the door, anywhere along the door frame, or even in that gap in between the two parts of the door. So we pass the daylight test. The next test is the wet palm test. So go ahead and put a little bit of water on your palm, just enough so that it's wet. And I want you to take your palm, feel along the gaps or along the seams in the door or the door frame all the way to the top. If you can reach the top, go ahead and feel along the top and the sides. You should be able to feel if there's any air coming through gaps because your hand is more sensitive when you have water on your palm. You're more sensitive to air. So we pass the wet palm test on my door. Next, we'll be checking our windows for air leaks. There are two tests we're going to perform to see if we have any air leaks. One is the wet palm test, which I already demonstrated on my front door. If you have any questions, refer back to that. The other is the toilet paper test. So we're going to take a strip of toilet paper. This one's about 4 inches long, about 1.5 inches wide. And I want you to move it over every part of the window where there's a gap, a seam, or a crack. So moving it up along where the window meets the window frame, up along where the glass meets the window, along the window sill, along the base of the window. Go ahead and check every space from top to bottom. If your toilet paper is fluttering or you feel the air on your wet palm, you have a gap that is letting in some or letting out air. So now answer the question, how many windows in your home have an air leak around the sides of the glass or the frame? Okay, so the last sub-question in question 10 is asking if you have clear plastic window kits covering your windows already. It's a pretty straightforward question. Answer yes or no. So you've made it through all 10 questions. You're done with the audit. So now go to ecoworksdetroit.org/healthyhomes to fill out the survey to get your personalized kit sent to your home, or call the number on the audit below. I'll also link to it below in this video. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.